It's news time. Information is power. The current, the news headline. It won't be shocked if Buhari, is being succeeded by another northerner in 2023. Adeyeye says. Senator Olushola Adeyeye, a chieftain of the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC), was the Senate Chief Whip in the 8th National Assembly, and in this interview with Temidayo Akinsuyi in Abuja, he shared his thoughts on latest developments in the polity, especially on the planned removal of fuel subsidy, direct primary controversy, and issues surrounding the 2023 presidential election. Exit. As a former principal in the Senate, what is your take on the friction between the National Assembly and state governors on the issue of direct primaries in the Electoral Act Amendment Bill? I do not see any friction at all. In a democracy, there are always competing interests, each person reviewing the situation of the republic and prescribing whatever measures they believe are appropriate for advancing the best interest of the country. And when it comes to some matters, the jurisdiction lies with the executive, and when it comes to others, the responsibility lies with the legislators. So, the National Assembly has prescribed what it thinks is in the best interest of the republic. The governors, as stakeholders, are entitled to express their wishes, and they are entitled to make known and to canvass for what they believe ought to be the way. But in this instance, when it comes to making laws about INEC for the conduct of election, the jurisdiction is squarely in the hands of the National Assembly. So I really don't see any friction between the lawmakers and governors, quite frankly. This is the nature of democracy. Personally, he was asked again that what is your view on mode of primaries to be used? Are you in support of direct primaries for the process? Should be thrown open for the political parties to decide what they want. Respondent says honestly, if there is good faith, it doesn't really matter. But the truth is, whether you are talking of direct primaries or indirect primaries, where there is corruption and manipulations by unscrupulous cabals, the process can be thwarted and run in such a way that the best interests of the citizenry at large are not served. I live in the United States of America for decades. Some states have what you call direct primaries, some have caucuses, some have what amounts to indirect primary, and they work very well. In fact, in some states, one party will run direct and another party will run indirect. But if there is good faith and if the process is in place to ensure that there are no untoward practices, then it doesn't really matter. Here, of course, unless we deceive ourselves, there are untoward practices, and if it is going to be indirect primaries, delegates can be bought with money. If it is going to be direct primaries, it is also going to be a matter of money. Even on election day, you see people sharing money and distributing loaves of bread. Honestly, it is sad, but that is the reality we have found ourselves. He was also asked how he will rate the current National Assembly compared to the one he served in, especially given the rubber stamp tagged given to them by some Nigerians. Respondent says that it is not fair to label them as such because the challenges are different. When I was in National Assembly, there were some things that we did that were right, and there were some things that we did that were wrong. And this current National Assembly, there are things they have done that are right, and there are things they have done, in my opinion, that were very wrong. Honestly, not being an insider, it will not be too fair for me to be too judgmental because, like I said, there were many things that we also did, wrong when I was there. He was also asked if the federal government has concluded plans to remove fuel subsidy next year, saying that does it think that this is a good idea? Responding says that as far back as the government of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, who proposed in his own time that subsidy should be removed, that he was one of the few senators of the party who supported the removal of subsidy, saying that the whole story of subsidy is a big scam, saying that it is a way in which a cabal runs with plenty of money into his pockets at the expense of the average Nigerian. I always tell Nigerians that to remember that once upon a time, we have a telephone and a postal code that was run by P&T that became Nitel and iPost. We all complained about the services and high cost. We then brought in the private sector, MTN in, Equinet came in, Globalcom also came as well as other private interests. At the beginning, they were very expensive and very unaffordable. I remember that when I first returned to the country in 2002, I bought a very cheap telephone called Triumph for about 14,000 naira. Later on, Nokia, Samsung, Motorola, LG, and other phones came. They were very expensive then, but today, a woman selling akara bean in my village has a telephone. A farmer working on his farm in my village sometimes has two telephones, depending on which one is working in his house and which one is working on his farm. Today, if you send a text message on any Nigerian telephone, you pay less than 5 naira. Also, remember that it takes about 500 naira or more to make a dollar. So when you send a text for 5 naira, it means you are paying less than a fraction of a US cent. So have we not moved far better than when we were using the P&C? Once upon a time, we used to have Nigerian Airways with airports in only about 4 Nigerian cities. Today, we have many private carriers. They are not the best run carriers in the world, but the truth is they are run far better Nigerian Airways was run before it collapsed. So my own prescription is let the government get out of the sectors of the economy. If the government has shown itself to be a pathetic failure, why should Nigeria be the only OPEC country that is importing petrol? If we are not importing petrol, if we are manufacturing and processing our own crude oil into finished products, petrol will only be a fraction of what it costs today. Next is asking what the solution to getting petrol less expensive is, saying that the solution to get petrol to be inexpensive in Nigeria is not subsidy. It is to let Nigerians and its friends, whether in the public or private sector, whether in the anywhere they are, to invest in processing the finished product. I don't know when Dangote is going to finish his refinery. I have been there. It is a massive project. It is called the biggest in the world. Part of the problem is perhaps we should not put all our eggs in one basket. Maybe they should have allowed few refineries so that we can have petrol being made here. If that is done, not only are we going to be able to have petrol to be inexpensive in Nigeria, we will also become the principal supplier for much of Africa, at the very worst for at least ECOWAS. That to me is the solution. I believe that subsidy should be removed and there should not be a penny subsidy. At the end of the day, when it is removed, you will find out that you will use less than a fraction on this subsidy is costing to get petrol to be marketable at a price that will be far more affordable, for the average Nigerian. The Minister of Finance, Ajia Zainab Ahmed, announced 5,000 naira had been proposed for 40 million vulnerable Nigerians to caution the effect of the fuel subsidy removal, and he was asked if he thinks that this was a noble policy, and he says that it is silly, stupid, and nonsensical, and does not make any sense at all, even to the most average Nigerians. Thanks for listening.